Please join me in the call to worship. We dare to gather on this, the saddest and most difficult of days. We dare to make the pilgrimage to the cross because we believe, as generations of Christians before us have also believed, that
God will,
even in the face of death,
God's love will overcome.
even when life is overwhelming and all seems lost, even in the midst of tragedy and disaster, even in the most disheartened people, in the most disheartening of times, because we are a hope-filled people and know that God is caring for us this day and every day.
We will be singing the responses in the opening prayer, Psalm 22. Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. On the cross, Jesus spoke words that sent a shudder through us, words of total abandonment and hopelessness. Was it really that God had abandoned Jesus, or was Jesus beginning to recite the words of Psalm 22, which starts off with that horrible feeling that many of us have had at some point or many points in our lives? My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me, from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but find no rest. Who will care for me, O God? Who will care for us when Jesus is gone? Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will care for the children, O God? The children who are hungry, those who are abused and exploited, those who are lost in systems that don't really have time or resources to care for them. Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will be with the elderly, O God, who find themselves alone at the end of their lives, disheartened, disillusioned, and discouraged? Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will accompany refugees, O God, those who have been forced from their homes by violence, war, poverty, and climate change? Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will be present, O God, to those who are living in the midst of the more than 110 armed conflicts and violence in the world today. Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will journey, O God, with those devastated by fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, drought, disease, and famine? Who will care, O God, for this earth as the climate changes and as animals, plants, oceans, land, and atmosphere suffer? Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will care, O God, for those who are living with loneliness, grief, addiction, despair, and depression? Who will care for those who are ill and those who are struggling to make ends meet? Who will care for those who are unhoused, those who are hungry, those who have been abandoned, and those who are searching for hope in their lives? Who will make the pilgrimage with all who are seeking hope? Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will embrace the pilgrimage of hope and compassion to which you call us as disciples of Jesus? And we sing. Lord, your mercy, Christ, your mercy, Lord, your mercy enfolds us all. Who will care when Jesus is gone? Who will make this pilgrimage? We who love Jesus will care. We will journey with those who need a companion because we follow the way of Jesus. Even at the foot of the cross, witnessing the death of the one we love, we will care. We will care for each other in the face of grief and tragedy. We will offer love and compassion to our community and our world. We will care for the earth and be God's presence, even in the face of death, destruction, disaster, and violence. We have said yes to this pilgrimage to which God calls us, and so we will care when Jesus is gone. We will care, we will make the journey, because we know that God is with us. We are not alone. Amen.
This is a reading from Mark chapter 14, verses 43 to 51. Immediately, while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived, and with him was a crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders. Now the betrayer had given them a sign saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away under guard." So when he came, he went up to Jesus at once and said, "Rabbi," and he kissed him. Then they laid hands on him and arrested him. But one of those who stood near drew his sword and struck the slave of the high priest, cutting off his ear. Then Jesus said to them, "Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me as though I were a bandit? Day after day I was with you in the temple teaching, and you did not arrest me. But let the scriptures be fulfilled." All of them deserted him and fled. A certain young man was following him, wearing nothing but a linen cloth. They caught hold of him, but he left the linen cloth and ran off naked.
Let us sing. Beneath the cross of Jesus, I fain would take my stand. The shadow of a mighty rock within a weary land, a home within the wilderness, a rest upon the way. From the burning of the noontide heat and the burden of the day. Upon the cross of Jesus, my eyes at times can see the very dying form of one who suffered there for me. And from my smitten heart with tears to wonders I confess the wonder of his glorious love and my unworthiness. I take, O cross, your shadow for my abiding place. I ask no other sunshine than the shining of his face. Content to let the world go by, to know no gain nor loss. My sinful self, my only shame, my glory of the cross. I continue reading in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 14. They took Jesus to the high priest, and all the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes were assembled. Peter had followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest, and he was sitting with the guards, warming himself by the fire. Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they found none, for many gave false testimony against him, and their testimony did not agree. Some stood up and gave false testimony against him, saying, "We heard him say, 'I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and in 3 days I will build another, not made with hands.' But even on this point, their testimony did not agree." Then the high priest stood up before them and asked Jesus, "Have you no answer? What is it that they testify against you?" But Jesus was silent and did not answer. Again, the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" Jesus said, "I am." And you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the power and coming with clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "Why do we still need witnesses? You have heard his blasphemy. What is your decision?" All of them condemned him as deserving death. Some began to spit on him, to blindfold him, and to strike him, saying, "Prophesy." The guards also took him over and beat him. We'll stay seated as we sing. Darkness comes to hold our grief, to touch our loss and bring relief. The darkness comes to hold our pain, to touch our hurt like gentle rain. The darkness comes to hold our fear, to touch our thoughts and make them clear. The darkness comes to hold our shame, to touch our guilt and banish blame. The darkness comes to hold our night, to touch our dreams and bring new sight. The darkness comes as womb of God to hold our souls till morning light.
While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she stared at him and said, "You also were with Jesus, the man from Nazareth." But he denied it, saying, "I do not know or understand what you are talking about." And he went out into the forecourt. Then the cock crowed. And the servant girl, on seeing him, began again to say to the bystanders, "This man is one of them." But again he denied it. Then after a little while, the bystanders again said to Peter, "Certainly you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." But he began to curse, and he swore an oath, "I do not know this man you are talking about." At that moment, the cock crowed for the second time. Then Peter remembered that Jesus had said to him, "Before the cock crows twice, You will deny me 3 times. And he broke down and he wept.
Let us stand and sing.
When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour content on all my pride. Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, save in the death of Christ my God. All the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them to his blood. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did e'er such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown? With the whole realm of nature mine, that were a present far too small, love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all.
As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you?" But Jesus made no further reply. Pilate was amazed. Now at the festival, Pilate used to release a prisoner for them, anyone for whom they asked. Now a man named Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed him over. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again. Then what do you wish me to do with the man you call the King of the Jews?" And they shouted back, "Crucify him." Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him." So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified.
Let us stand and sing.
The love that clothes itself in light stands naked now, despised, betrayed, receiving blows to face and hand from hands that love itself has made. The love that lifts the stars and sun collapses spent beneath the cross. The love that fills the universe goes on to death and total loss. Love helpless comes to Calvary, rejected, scorned, and crucified. Love hangs in shame and dies alone, but love abased is glorified. Extinguished with the sun and moon, love's light transcends all history. Love wrapped in linen, love entombed, still wraps all heaven in mystery. Though love is lost, love finds us here. Though love is absent, love remains. Where love is finished, love begins. Where love is dead, love lives and reigns.
Then the soldiers led Jesus into the courtyard of the palace, that is the governor's headquarters. And they called together the whole cohort. And they clothed him in a purple cloak. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Jewish people." They struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt down in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. They compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. Then they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him and divided his clothes among them, casting lots to decide which each should take. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charges against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified 2 bandits, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "Aha! You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the scribes, were also mocking him among themselves and saying, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross now, so that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified with him also taunted him.
You were sent from God above to bring us peace and love. In your final hour, I come to thee. You were sent from God above, sent to bring us peace, to bring us in your final hour, I come to thee. Lord, when they crown you King, have mercy. They crown you King, have mercy. When your blood is poured, have mercy. Your blood is poured across you, King, your mercy to free us from all sinners. In your final I come to Lord, when they mock your name, have mercy. Lord, when you bow your head, have mercy. When you sacrifice for me, you feel alone have mercy. Lord, when you shed your tears, have mercy. You were sent from God above to bring us peace and love.
When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lima sabachthani, which means, O God, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, Listen, he is calling for Elijah. And someone ran and filled a sponge with sour wine and put it on a stick and gave it to him, saying, Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. Then Jesus gave a loud cry and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, Truly, this man was God's son. There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, mother of James the younger, and of Joses and Salome. These used to follow him and provided for him when he was in Galilee. And there were many other women who had come with him to Jerusalem.
When evening had come, and since it was the day of preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate wondered if he were already dead, and summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he had been dead for some time. When he learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the body to Joseph. Then Joseph bought a linen cloth, and taking down the body, wrapped it in the linen cloth, and laid it in a tomb that had been hewn out of rock. He then rolled a stone against the door of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where the body was laid.
We remain seated and sing.
Don't be afraid, my love is stronger. My love is stronger than your fear. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger, and I have promised to be always near. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger. My love is stronger than your fear. Don't be afraid, my love is stronger, and I have promised to be always near.
There are pilgrimages we gladly say yes to, pilgrimages we'd rather avoid, pilgrimages that we'd wish never came into our lives. There are times when we face what we do not want to face. We see Jesus hanging on a cross, Jesus, the light of the world, gone out, dead. But we know something that the disciples were only learning, that when this light goes out, the light continues to shine in each of us. And when we can't find that light in ourselves, we find that light in each other. And that's why we dare to gather on this day. It's why we dare to say yes to this pilgrimage, because we know that the light is with us. We are not alone. And so we go to watch and wait, and we sing.
Be afraid, my
love is stronger than your fear. Don't be afraid. My love is stronger, and I have promised to be always near.